So, PDRN is having a moment. It's in serums, ampoules, treatments. It's probably in someone's toner pads as we speak. 6 months ago, I tried a bunch of PDRN serums, and today I'm gonna answer the only question that really matters. Are you actually missing out? Hey, it's ECAT. Think electronic cat? Yeah, welcome to my edit by ECAT. I'm just going through the serums that I've tried and asking myself, which ones feel special, which ones feel replaceable, and which ones are just a big fat no. The first on my hit list is the one and only, the famous, the viral, the pink, the peptide, the PDRN serum by Medicube. So if you watched my first impressions, you would know that I wasn't really impressed with the serum. Everything got overshadowed by the dropper. The dropper was absolutely horrendous to use. Actually, it's still horrendous to use. But if you look beyond the dropper, the serum is actually quite nice. I am not sure what the PDRN does in here, but as a peptide serum, I think it's pretty good. The consistency is this fun, juicy, lightweight, hydrating serum, but it does leave this nourished layer. I would use it towards the end of my skincare routine just because it has that richness. Despite having quite a lightweight feel, it leaves this nice glossy layer behind. Super nice under makeup. I tend to use it more in my evening skincare routine just to give me that extra hydrating cushioning. When I want something cozy and comforting, this is actually a good serum to have. You wouldn't really think that. I didn't reach for it as a PDRN serum from the very beginning. I just don't see it that way. It has a rose PDRN and a rose scent. Doesn't bother me. I just wish it wasn't in the dropper. Other than that, I don't really have any gripes with it. Is it a standout for me aside from the pink? I think I would continue using it as a peptide serum in my routine whenever I can get it for a really good price. The next one has Salmon. Yes. And it's the first serum that I've completely emptied over the last 6 months, which is probably due to the consistency of the serum and not the fact that it has PDRN. You'll probably see a theme here. I'm talking about the Heveblue Salmon Caring Centella Ampoule. This is a new bottle. I finished the first one super fast. It's just your perfect, soothing, calming, hydrating serum. I just kept reaching for it non-stop. From the very first try, it's such a pleasure to use. You can think of it like a hybrid between hyaluronic acid and Centella serum. In fact, it kind of reminds me of the Pore Wonder Relief Centella serum. It hits your skin, gives you hydration, but also that instant soothing and calming. I would apply even 2 or 3 layers just because it feels so good. Now, is it because it has PDRN in it? Probably not. It's just a really nice all-rounder serum. It has everything. It has PDRN, but it also has Centella. I am a big fan, really big fan. In fact, I've stocked up. I have several backups, and it's now a serum that I like to have on hand. It is just beautiful. I don't know, if you take out the Salmon, I would still probably reach for it and love it to bits. Another famous PDRN serum, but this one I find questionable. Questionable because I don't really put it in the PDRN category. I see it just as another hydrating serum. I'm talking about the Anua PDRN Hyaluronic Capsule 100 serum. Now, this is also a fresh bottle. I did finish the original one, and I did finish it rather quickly. Now, as a hydrator, as a hyaluronic acid serum, it's superb, and it reminds me of the Village hyaluronic acid ampoule. Both of them are this lightweight, absolutely watery serum, but it leaves that layer of hydration behind. It goes really well with prepped skin. Then you just feel it is another dose of hydration. I made a mistake when I tried it for the first time, pushing it on my dry face, and it left this glossy layer, which confused me because it felt like anything that I applied afterwards wasn't penetrating. I was confused. I didn't understand how it could be so lightweight, but so almost occlusive. So since then, I understood that you need to prep your skin really well with loads of hydrating toner. And when you put this on top, you have this extra satisfying layer of hydration. And yeah, once I discovered that, I went through the bottle pretty quickly. So it's nice. And I think the consistency is what makes it so nice. But then again, I think the Village is quite similar, and that often comes cheaper. So I would use the two almost interchangeably, to be honest. Will I be using this one again? Yeah, as a hydrating serum, and if I find it at a good price. The next one I was absolutely raving about when I first opened it. I loved the packaging. I loved the consistency. It was so good. I was so excited. I was just layering it on, and then it compromised my barrier and turned me off the product altogether. Just because it says PDRN doesn't mean it's this calming, repairing, soothing serum. It could be anything, really. Anything could have PDRN. No, seriously. Anything right now has PDRN. It might just sneak up on you in the strangest of places. The example I have is the EQQUALBERRY Purple PDRN Pore Minimizing Serum. Look at this thing. It's so cute. It has rice. I love rice. I love anything with rice. I'm on a mission to try every rice product. Well, technically I've tried this one. And it was a rice product with this luxurious, creamy, milky consistency. As I was applying it, I was thinking to myself, oh my God, I'm going to love this. I am going to love this so much. And the little dropper top, it's like a little boop. I loved it. I loved everything about it. And then a few days later, my barrier was whining so much that I didn't know what was going on until I went back and realized that this is a pore serum. That means it has exfoliators in it. So you have to be careful. If your barrier is on that tight rope between being healthy and slightly compromised, this might just tip it over the edge. And it did for me. But it also ruined the whole experience because since then, I was barely reaching for it. I probably used it once or twice, and that's it. I can't really use it on a daily basis. And of course, if you can, lucky you, I would too, just because the experience is so nice. But I was just looking at it on my shelf and leaving it there because I needed an occasion to use it because I needed it, not because it was just a nice, easy-going serum that I can slot anytime in my routine. Would I use it? Yes, because I have it. Would I buy it again? Probably not. The next serum, I thought we were gonna get on really well. It has my favorite pump. It has a watery texture. It leaves your skin with this healthy glow. But after a while, I started to detest the scent because with each use, it was just getting more and more overpowering. I couldn't stand it. 50 mils is a lot if the product has a scent. It is the Prettyskin I can't say it. NMN, the Prettyskin PDRN serum with NMN. Let's just focus on why I can't use it. It has a very watery texture. In fact, I would probably say it's a slightly, just a touch, thicker consistency than the Anua PDRN serum. And the gloss is a little bit heavier that it leaves behind. I liked putting this on as a light layer at the end of my skincare routine, especially in the morning because it gave you that healthy glow. But after a while, the scent. And the scent is this kind of floral, orange blossom, jasmine-y notes. It just became stronger and stronger every time I used it that I didn't want to reach for it. I wasn't looking forward to it. I decided to use it up with DIY sheet masking. Because it's so watery, I would soak 2 cotton pads and put them on my cheeks. It allowed me to use up the bottle faster. I think I have literally just a tiny bit left and I wanted to leave some so I can film a swatch. To be honest, I can't wait. I can't wait to get rid of it. I don't want to have it in my life. It's nice, but it's not for me. You know what? I think this is a good moment to subscribe. The next serum I've talked about recently, so I'm not going to dwell on it too much, but it is another jelly fun pink PDRN serum. And it's the Numbuzin No. 2 Rose PDRN Collagen Plumping Serum. You would look at it online and think, oh wow, the texture looks so juicy and glossy. It's probably such a pleasure to apply. Oh no, it's so heavy and occlusive that I just couldn't figure out how to use it in my routine. My immediate thought is that I need to prep my skin really well. That will allow the jelly to just melt and give me that extra hydration. But it just sat on top. It wouldn't go anywhere. And most importantly, it was sticky as hell. So sticky that you couldn't even use it in your evening routine because it would just make your face stick to the pillow and it felt uncomfortable, rather suffocating. I even tried putting this under the collagen overnight mask, just thinking that it will help it penetrate better. It was still there. Every time I tried to apply it in a new way, it just became more and more apparent that me and this serum just don't go together. We are not friends. Not friends at all. And I don't think we were from the very first use. When I opened it, I remember my immediate concern was that it was too thick and occlusive. And it is. And I gave it a go. And now it's going to be leaving my life and we're going to be saying goodbye. The only problem is I also bought the 2X version, you know, the one that comes in a jar, just because that one looked even more fun, even more juicier, and I got influenced. But the verdict for this one is a hell no. Because I've talked about the Numbuzin serum before, I am going to sneak in a serum that I've only talked about in my empties before. It's the Genabelle PDRN Vita Toning Ampoule. This is the first PDRN serum that I've ever tried. And again, I'm not so sure about the PDRN in it. This one is Salmon, by the way. The texture of the serum is really nice. It is watery, but it has that tiny bit of slip to it. So it is lightweight, but the hydration and nourishment that it leaves behind, it's super nice. I love using it as just another hydrating serum. To be honest, I've been reaching for it more and more lately. I like how my skin feels using this, and it's so easy to layer. I'm not sure what the capsules do either. They're kind of like love-hate relationship for me, because I can never really understand whether I burst them with my fingers or they just roll off my face somewhere. You know, you apply it and then you feel it for a bit and you trying to burst them. But at the end of the day, I'm like, do they dissolve or do they just vanish into the thin air like socks in the washing machine? But yeah, the serum just gives me everything that I need. So the hydration, the feel, the look, but the ingredients sometimes are questionable. This is a repurchase, in fact, and I'm confident to say that this is going to be a repurchase in the future, just because the experience and how my skin looks after I use the serum. I do really enjoy it, even though I've just went on a rant about the capsules. By the way, this one has a bit of scent, but I kind of forget that it's there. Sometimes I have to think to myself and go, oh yeah, actually it has a scent, but only if I think about it. I was raving about the next serum when I opened it. I think I fall in love with it even more every time I use it, just because I discover different uses for it the longer I use it. Now, first thing that stood out to me, it has seaweed. Seaweed is such a common but not so common ingredient. We talk about it a lot, but there's only a handful of products that have a focus on seaweed. And I'm not talking about the organic clean type. This is seaweed PDRN, and it's from Isntree. It's their Hydro Bouncy Ampoule. It's so good, really good. I feel like it's such a perfect candidate to replace snail mucin. It has that hydrating feel, but I would say this one is even lighter than snail mucin. It feels so good on your skin. It just gives you that jelly, lightweight consistency. It just melts into your skin, so it disappears pretty fast. I discovered a new way to use this recently, and this is with the LDM at home device. I literally just put on loads and take 12 minutes just to slowly massage it in. The glow I get afterwards is amazing. Also, when I'm really parched, I just put loads on, loads of it, and it feels amazing. Really good. And of course, it has a pump. It has the perfect packaging for me. It just feels like all the stars aligned, and I found this amazing ingredient, amazing texture, and amazing packaging all in one fell swoop. Yeah, I think it's such an underrated product. I love it. This is definitely going to be a repurchase. Now, I think out of all the PDRN serums so far, this is this quiet, unique, and versatile serum. And the last two are probably one of the most well-known PDRN products out there, just because there was so much hype around it. Now, was it real? The two products that I have here are by Vita, and it's their PDRN Essence and PDRN Ampoule. When I first tried these, I thought that the Ampoule was much better than the Essence. I immediately imagined myself reaching for this one just because the consistency was a little bit lighter. But the opposite happened. After I opened both of these, and as soon as my barrier was compromised, I immediately reached for the Essence. I don't know why. I really don't know why. It's just I was compelled to go straight for the Essence. I don't know whether it was the brainwashing I received from all the social media and people talking about how good it is, how nourishing it is, and it's good for barrier repair. I just did, and I kept reaching for it. Every single time I needed that extra something to make my skin feel better, to give it some nourishment, like a cozy hug. I'll be honest, I don't like wearing it just because it has that, how do you say it? It has that richness, that lipid consistency that kind of sticks to your skin and gives you that glow. It doesn't feel oily, but it feels rich and it doesn't go anywhere. It just stays on your skin. You have that gloss and slip left on your skin, and it doesn't really go well with my pillows, you know? I have to kind of blop my face before I go to bed. But nonetheless, I am still reaching for it. I still love it. It's one of my favorite serums out of the lineup today because it just gives me everything that I need. But most importantly, I think these two deserve a place because the consistency is very different to a lot of products out there. If you haven't tried it, you might be missing out. It is unlike anything I've tried before because it has that property that it just clings onto your skin and immediately soothes and just calms everything down. And the way your skin looks the next day is just so good. It's just so good. I was on the fence on trying these, to be honest. Maybe it won't suit everybody, but I love it, especially as my skin gets drier and drier and I want that extra something to put all the moisture and nourishment back in. I reach for these. Both of them actually, I think, finished or almost finished. There are backups and repurchases. These are going to be staples in my stash. I don't use them as serums. I would put them on instead of a moisturizer. That's how rich they are. They have the lightweight richness that stays on your skin. Superstars. The hype is real and I am totally bought in. We had 10 PDRN serums today. Only a few are truly special. I think most of the time the packaging will say PDRN while other ingredients are doing most of the heavy lifting. So if I wasn't having too much fun trying all the different PDRN serums, I would probably go for combinations, really smart combinations. We see retinol and PDRN. We see PDRN with azelaic acid, NAD, and growth factors. There is just so much to choose from. You don't have to choose PDRN just for the sake of choosing PDRN. Have it all. Have all the superstars in your serums. Just because one of the ingredients is PDRN doesn't mean it deserves a space on your shelf. Do you disagree with any of my observations today? If you do, make sure to leave me a comment. Thank you for watching, and as always, if you love skincare that feels fun, with lots of steps and zero regrets, then hit subscribe and come back and hang out with me again. But don't go just yet. If you still got some time, I hope you stay and watch this next video. I'll see you again soon.